John from JO Ventures Outdoors, and I'm out in the leather shop, and I just thought I would take you along as I work on this slip. I've been working on some slips from some scrap leather, and I just thought I'd take you along on this one. This is a really small one. I had several, just like a piece of 4 to 5 ounce leather, and I made several slips out of them. Here's some of the others I made just the other day. So I thought I would take you along as I stitch this one. And you can see I made that one, the orange stitching there. This one's got the red, got those Randy's WSG beads on there. So I just thought I would, got the packages already here. Not sure what I'm going to do with these, but this is like the little bags I put them in. So I'm going to stitch this one up. I'm using white waxed thread on this. And I did want to say, I haven't had a chance to watch yet. Sorry, Michael. But Richter Knives has a video out on making a slip, making your own slip. So I would recommend watching that. I'm going to go watch that tonight. So, Michael, thank you for doing that. That's awesome. So that'd be cool. So first thing we need to do is figure out how much thread we want. And so I gauge about the size here, and I count about 5 links of thread. That was 4 and 5. And it's usually a little too much, but I'd rather have too much than not enough. Now I'm trying to find my thread cutters. I'm going to put them back in here. They're just little snips like this. It's starting to rain outside, so hopefully that's not going to cause too much of a noise issue here. And then we're going to get our needle. So we've got our piece in our stitching pony here. And then I'm going to take my needle and thread it. And I like to take just a lighter and kind of just do this to get the wax out of there and then clean it off. And then thread my needle. This thread's usually pretty good. Then you take it, once you've threaded it, you just take it and skewer the other side of the thread there so it holds it on. And then I usually just hang that over that. And I'm going to do the other one. And I just drop my needle. Hang on just one second. Okay, sorry about that. Drop my needle. So then I'm going to thread this one. And this wax thread's, a little easier to thread than you think. The more wax it has in it, the better. It's easier to thread. So I've got my stitching holes already made in this one. So what I'm going to do is just going to come in here on the very last one. I've got my ring light kind of in my eyes, so and then I'm going to make sure this is even. And then we'll just start stitching. I don't need as much thread because this one is a little bit, smaller than most of the slips. I'm going to come in one side, then I'm going to come in the other. I'm going to loop the thread around and do that. Pull it through, pull it tight. And then I'm going to keep going. Go in one, go in the other, and loop it around. This is, to me, the fun part. I really like stitching, especially when it's a slip like this. They're a lot easier to stitch. Flip it around, pull it tight like that, and then we've got good stitching there. Then And put it back in there, pull it around. Let me, I don't know if I can bring you over and show you what I'm doing, but you can kind of see what's going on there. I'm flipping this around like that. So let me put you back over here. Sorry about that. Get the camera set up right now. It'll be just a little bit different. And then I pull it through and pull it tight. And then I'm just going to keep going, making sure I'm hitting every hole just right. So the other thing I did here recently, and I showed some pictures, I'm now on Instagram, that's pretty cool, is I put new scales on my Super Tinker. There they are. They're 3D printed by Walter, viewer. Walter, thank you. And these were easier to put on than I thought. And what was funny was that Randy's WSG, he made a video like the same night of him replacing the scales on his Super Tinker. So, you know, great minds think alike, I guess. And so, Randy, those look really cool. If you're watching, which we usually watch each other's videos. And so that's pretty cool. I'm just going to loop that around. So what's next after this, after I get this stitched, and I may or may not take you through the whole stitching. It's not going to take me very long here. I'm moving pretty good here. What's going to happen next is I'll have to do a little bit of dyeing on the edges and burnishing, and I'll take you through on that too if this is not going to run too long. I don't want to bore you to death, but then we'll put the sheen on, and also Last Chance Knives leather conditioner. And we'll also, I haven't put a grommet in this yet, so we'll have to do that too. So now I'm going to flip this up like this. I'm going to tighten my stitching pony down. Walter made this too. This is a game changer on my leather work. This is incredible. I was using a vise with 2 boards in it, and it just really wasn't working very well. And it was okay. I mean, I did a lot of projects with that, but this is way better. So then I'm just going to keep going here. And it's kind of therapeutic, really. Pull that in like that. This is called a saddle stitch. And if you're doing leather work, you really need to learn how to do a saddle stitch. One of the best pieces of advice I was ever given was to learn to do that and burnish well. Burnish your edges. And those 2 things really make your pieces look nice. The other thing is getting these lines straight. And the key to that is making sure these edges are straight, which I'm not always that great at. But that's the key, is getting that edge straight, because that's what you use to make sure that that stitching line is right. And I'm sure Richter's going to talk a lot about that in his video. But this is the tool I use. It's called an edge groover. And it just goes right along the edge of that piece, and that's how you get your lines straight. And that's the key to that. But you got to cut it straight in the first place. So using a nice straight edge is important. And so that's super important on that. The other thing I wanted to talk about was just this knife community is just amazing. They are so generous. The lives that I've been watching, and I contribute to them because I was just like, I heard all the things that Georgia Adventurer was giving, and some of the others, Pete, that Jersey Knife guy, and some of the others. I thought, well, I can give a few things. That makes that live so much fun, more fun, and it's just really a nice touch. Well, they're fun anyway you slice it, they're fun, but giving away something, that just icing on the cake. So we're just about done here. Now what I'm going to do here when I get to the end, I'll show you, or try to anyway. I do what's called a back stitch, and I'm sure Richter and Randy at George Adventure do something similar. I'm sure there's different techniques. I'm not sure mine's always the neatest, but it's the way I learned it. So now I'm here, so now I'm going to back stitch 3 stitches. And this holds the thread in place. So I'm just going to stick it between two of the stitches. I'm not going to pick you up and move you, but I'm just going to stick it down there between 2 of the stitches. I'll show you what I'm doing here. See, I'm just sticking that through the stitches. I'm going the other direction. Before I was coming from left to right, and I need to get this camera set back up here. Sorry about that. Before I was going left to right, now I'm going right to left. So I'm going to stick that through, pull it through, and if it's really thick leather, then I'm going to go just to the left of that stitch, and I'm going to come back through again. Okay, there's one back stitch. Then I'm going to come in here and do another one, just like this. Make sure you pull it tight. Go just to the left of that. Oh, that wasn't very good. There we go. Just to the left of that. Pull it in, and one more time. I like to do 3, and then I'm going to come to the left of that. I have a feeling this might be a long video. Then I'm going to take my snippers. I'm just going to cut the thread off. Right there. The whole thing. Like that. Then I'm going to take it out of my stitching pony. I'm going to take my lighter, and I'm just going to burn those. Melt them down and push them in. See if I just got a little piece of thread out of there. I'll melt it. Get down in there. There we go. It's stitched up. So now we got to move some of this stuff out of the way because I've got my punching mat right here. And I'll have to change the angle for you. Put that back. Put my Super Tinker back in my pocket. There we go. Now I'm going to switch you to the down view here. And so hang on just a second. Okay, now we're back again. And see, I've got my piece here. So what do I need to do is put these grommets in. Eyelet. It's actually an eyelet, not a grommet. A grommet has 2 pieces. An eyelet has 1. So I'm going to have my mallet. I'm going to need my punch for that size. I have one I use all the time, and it's this one right here. And then I've got to get a grommet, and I've got a whole box of grommets here. And I think I'm going to go with brass, antique brass. I'll put that right out there. Close my box or I'll have a big mess. Put that over to the side. Now what I do is I just kind of line that up and I make a little mark. I know where my hole is going to go, and then I got to punch a hole. Take that out of there. Put that back. My grommet just goes, my eyelet just goes right in there, and then I got to flatten it with the eyelet setter and anvil. And what's bad in leather work is that you got to have a different one for every size eyelet. And so this is like a 1/4 inch eyelet. So this is what the anvil and the setter looks like. And then you put that right here. I mean, because you got to have a lanyard on these. At least that's what I think anyway. But then I'm going to put that right on my quartz. My anvil's right here. It's got a groove that's setting in there. I just pop it a little bit until it's tight. It's tight. So there we've got an eyelet. put our setter back and our anvil back in the package so we know what size it is. That's the way I do it anyway. The next thing we need to do is do a little finishing on this. So hang tight here. Leather sheen. Mix that up. And it's brand new, so need to break through that. So our Super Tinker will be very helpful with that. Take that off of there. Wipe that off. Put that over to the side. Now I'm going to get a little bit of a piece of paper towel here. So I just thought it'd be fun for you to see me stitch one of these up and just finish one up. Richter's got his full video, so I'm not trying to, duplicate something like that, but just wanted to kind of take you along with me on this. But the knife community, it's just been awesome. We're just sharing things back and forth. The traveling knives, if you haven't been following those, you need to do that. It's really a lot of fun. The Knipex has been just all over the country. It just finished its 20th review, and so just awesome, just a lot of fun. I need a little rag here because I'm going to polish this up, and this is how I get the shine on these. And I have to do this several times. Behind the camera here is kind of tricky. Yeah, there we go. I've seen Randy at Georgia Venture do this several times, work on projects and just kind of chat. I just thought those were some of my most enjoyable videos from him. I learned a lot. You're just kind of watching somebody, work. So anyway, the traveling knives, about 20 on the Knipex. We've got the Cutmaster Peanut out there from Knife Delights. And then we have the two new ones from North Star Knife Reviews. And they're making their way. So they went down to Randy's WSG. And so they're on the way to him. And those are really cool. Yeah. There we go. Oh, I kind of sounded like Tom at Knife Delights. And I said, yeah. I love it when he's cleaning a knife and just kind of talks to you. So maybe I got that idea from him too. But I just thought it'd be a little bit different video. So hopefully you're enjoying this. I guess you could just stop it or just move it forward if you don't want to. You get to see my ugly mug a little bit in this one. And we could probably turn this around and do that again, but I already got a couple cuts. So yeah, we're just going to shine that up real good. I'll put a little more. There we go. I got a new phone and I've got a lot more storage. That's been very helpful. There we go. All right. Well, that's looking pretty good. Oh, I got to burnish it and dye it on the edges there. So we got to do that too. And typically I do that first. I kind of spaced it. Let me get my dye here. So this is the dangerous part. I just want a little bit, so I'm just going to open that up. Get my dauber here. And what I'm doing here is just want to get these edges. I did a little sanding on those. I'm just going to do this. Just real neatly. I don't want to dye the whole thing again. Just want to get the edges. In fact, I'll be real careful with that. Yeah, so just want to get them real good. There we go. So I just got the edges there. We'll let that dry for a minute. Close your die right away. And we're pretty much done with that. Put that up there. So now I'm going to probably, it's kind of bleeding into the edges, but I think it'll be all right. See how that dye kind of is soaking in there, but I think it'll be fine. Do a little bit of burnishing now. Then we'll use some Tokonol, which is kind of like a waxy cream kind of substance. All right. This is our burnishing tool. And then, all right, let's find it. Oh, it's already out. Here it is, Tokonol. I showed that in one of my other videos when I did the sheath. So I'm just going to take a little bit. You don't need much of this stuff. Just a little bit on your finger. I don't think it's dangerous. And then I kind of open that up. Go in there. And I'm going to do this. Do the edges. I need a little more. Well, I hope this is not too boring here for you. Do that. So the other thing I wanted to say was, you can see, look at that. Well, that's not too bad. I got my leather just a little bit. I think it's a little off right in there. But you're not going to be able to tell that. Let's do that. You can see where I dyed it. It bled into that just a little bit, but that is going to lighten up as it dries. And then you can also take this edge like that and just kind of finish it. There it is. Now we'll close up our Tokonol and then we'll do, got stuff everywhere here. The Last Chance Knives Ken's product here is just amazing. And I just rub it on the new sheath, new slip, I should say. This is olive oil and coconut oil and beeswax together. This is the newer product, I think. And I think he even has one beyond this. And then we'll rub that on there and rub it in. And then shine it. There we go. Just like that. Just like that. See, I think I just sounded like Tom there. There we go. There it is. All it needs is a lanyard. I won't take you through that process, but basically cutting some leather lace, putting a Randy's WSG bead on it, and finishing it up. Well, let me turn you around and we'll end this video. Okay, well, I hope that was enjoyable. Again, we've got, I think, a really cool sheath here. I'll do some more shining on that, but here's the kind of the finished product. Not too bad. Not too bad. That dye up there is kind of bugging me a little bit, but I think once it lightens up, it'll be fine. And we'll put a lanyard on that and do some more shining. This will probably fit a very small knife. I have a little Imperial pen knife, and it fits it pretty nicely. So probably a 12-0 T-Pal would fit in here pretty well from Old Timer, something like that. Well, thank you so much for coming along with me as I finish up this slip, and I really appreciate your support of the channel. We're on our way to 750, and then we'll have a giveaway. So thank you all for watching.